Howdy everybody, Mr. G here. Hope you're having a wonderful day. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about a specific concept that you probably already saw in the title, but it's labeled as a half note. Let's jump into it. But before we jump into it, let's do a quick review of some things. A quarter note is worth how many beats? 1. Good. And a quarter rest is how many beats? 1. Good. So if I were to draw out some quarter notes, it would look like this. Now, I want you to tell me, how would I count these quarter notes? I would start off with a 1, followed by a 2, 3, and lastly a 4. Very good. Let's go ahead and count this together. 2, ready, and what? Oh, wait a minute. You got to make sure your foot is going down and up. Again, 2 and ready and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, off. So now what we're going to do today is we're actually going to combine some quarter notes together. So let me explain. Quarter note is worth 1 beat. If I were to combine these notes together, I would get how many beats? I would get 2 whole beats because this is 1 beat and this is 1 beat. 1 plus 1 equals 2. So if I were to combine 2 beats together, 2 quarter notes together, what would that be called? That would be called a half note. So if a half note is worth 2 beats, does that mean I can replace these 2 quarter notes? Yeah, I can put it right in and it's gonna fit just fine. Let me go ahead.
And boop, and boop. I'm gonna put.
And that's what a half note looks like. It kind of looks like a quarter note, except instead of it being drawn in the middle, it's open like that. So since I have my half note and I put my 1 right here, what happens to beat 2? Beat 2 goes pretty much inside of beat 1. We're gonna be actually holding the note. We're not gonna say 2, but we're gonna be holding it, okay? There's a very specific way to draw that. So I'm going to put a 2 right here, but since I'm not resting, I'm not gonna put a parentheses. I'm just gonna put a really small 2. So I have a big 1, small 2, and then I'm back to quarter notes where it gets 1 beat, 3, and then 4. But I need to make sure this 2 is kind of over the 1 so I know that they're together. Like I said earlier, the reason I'm not gonna put a parentheses is because the half note or the note that I'm holding is not a rest. So if I were to count this measure, it would sound like this. Down, up, ready, and count. 1, 3, 4. Now, this time I want you to count it. I'm gonna be the metronome. I want you to go ahead and start. 1, 2, you and count. Off. So always remember this. For every note, there is an equal and opposite rest. So we had our quarter note, which is 1 beat. The equal and opposite rest was a quarter rest, right? And they're both 1 beat. What about half notes? What would be the equal and opposite rest to a half note? It would be called a what? Half rest. How many beats is in a half rest? 2 whole beats. Now, what I want you to do, I want you to look at chart number 2. And in chart number 2, I want you to find where there may be some half rests. Now, remember how many beats there are in half rests. Remember, we're in 4 times, so there's 4 beats in each measure. Find the half rests. I'll give you my example. In chart number 2, if you take a look at measure 18, we have a half note followed by a half rest, which looks like this, like a hat upside down, or I guess a hat normal. So let's go ahead and subdivide this right in the counts underneath so we can understand it a little bit better. So just like earlier, we're in 4/4 time. What am I gonna put for right here? I'm gonna put a 1, and remember, what am I gonna put for beat 2? Because beat 2 still exists. What am I gonna put for beat 2? I'm gonna put a small 2. Now, why am I not going to put a parentheses? Because it's not a rest. So I'm just gonna have the 2, just like that, without a parentheses. But when I get over here to the half rests are how many beats again? 2, a half rest is 2 beats. I'm gonna put beat what? 3 and beat 4. And what am I gonna put around it? It's a half rest, a parentheses. So let's go ahead and count this together. Down, up, ready, and count. 1. Let's do that again. 1 and 2, count and go. 1. Awesome. So now that we kind of got that concept down, what I want you to do is write the definition of a half note and a half rest at the top of your chart number 2. So in the top corner, right above like the very first 4/4 time, I want you to put half note, just like that. Put your up beats and down beats. So we have down, up, that's 1 beat. And let's try the next one. Down, up, that's for your 2 beats. So we counted 1, like that. Then we're going to write 2 beats. And then I want you to write the equivalent, the rest equivalent, which is going to be just like that. Draw your half rest. Well, I hope this video is very helpful. Look through chart number 2. I'm gonna have a little assignment for you guys. And we're gonna be talking about whole notes next, so stay tuned.